Hi, welcome back to the vending machine audit videos. We've covered how to list your vending machines. We've also covered how to make a vending machine grid and how to make a stock list. Now we're going to look at how to take the items that you've written into your stock list and put them online at the brand name food list website into something called a scorecard. So how do you create the scorecard on the brand name food list website? What do you do?
Well, the first thing you do is you go to the website, and the brand name food list is actually an online tool that lists packaged and franchise foods that have been rated according to the food and beverage guidelines for schools and public buildings. Once you're on the brand name food list, you'll go to scorecard. Before you can actually create a scorecard for each of your vending machine locations, you have to create locations on the list, and you can use the locations you identified in step one of this process.
Oh, great.
Once you've done that, you can create scorecards for each of those locations.
And how many do you need to do at least?
At least four. You'll have at least 4 scorecards. You can do, of course, more than that if you have more vending machines in your facility.
Okay, so you go to the first scorecard, and what do you do when you're there?
Once you've created the scorecard, you can add items to that scorecard by searching the list, and that's where your food and beverage stock list comes in handy.
So I might look, for example, for Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips, for example. I'd scroll through the list of options and I'd find that, and then I'd put it in.
One thing it's very important when you're searching the list is to make sure your search is not very specific. For example, if you were searching Miss Vicky's, it might be better to just search Vicky, because you may not get any results if you search Miss Vicky's potato chips, because it's a bit difficult, makes the search a bit more difficult that way.
Okay, and if I get to an item and I just can't find it at all, what do I do then?
If you can't find an item on the list, you can assume, not necessarily, but assume that it is a not recommended item, so that might be chocolate bars or chips. There is a small list of not recommended generic items on the brand name food list, and they were added for people creating scorecards. So if you can't find a specific chocolate bar, you can use the generic one, and it will allow you to still create your scorecard.
And what information does it give you back when you've submitted it?
Once you've added all your items and then you've submitted it for scoring, it will then give you a percentage of items within your machine rated according to the guidelines. So you might have a percentage of choose most, choose sometimes, not recommended, and choose least items.
Okay, and when I go to the brand name food list website, do I need to sign in or anything, or do I just go straight to the scorecard area?
You do. Once you go there, it will prompt you to create an account, which is your an email and a password.
Okay, so it's pretty simple.
Yes, and that allows you to actually save your scorecards in the future if you needed to update them, change them in future.
So let's say I'm going through and I have a question about a specific food and I just can't find the answer. Where do I go for help?
Well, if it's a specific food you can't find, you can actually submit it online as well, especially if you think it is a good food that should be sold. Or you can actually call Dial a Dietitian directly, which has a Lower Mainland and a provincial-wide number.
Okay, and if you're going through and you have a question about how to complete the provincial evaluation specifically, who do you call then? Do you call Dial a Dietitian?
No, you would refer back to the evaluation team.
Okay, and what do you do then at the end of this process when you've completed steps 1 to 4 if you are in the provincial evaluation and you've got your forms completed?
You would then send all those forms again to your provincial team. Okay,
and if you aren't part of the provincial evaluation, but you've kept track of all these forms, what do you do with them now?
Well, I would keep them as a record and as a means of auditing yourself. If you're making changes in your facility and improving the healthy environment, they're great tools to let you do this.
Thanks, Karen. That's a great overview. And remember, there are also lots of resources to help you in your toolkit. Karen, anything else to leave us with?
Stay active, eat healthy.